Man, so why is yours green?
Because it's a motherfucking army watch.
Yeah, but why would the army... Don't you guys wear blue camis?
Blue? No.
Yeah, those urban shits you wear are bluish.
Blue, dude, don't...
I've seen a picture of you in your bluish uniform.
It doesn't even matter. Dude, you just like the flavor blue.
I love red. Blue is not my favorite. I love the flavor red. That's why I got a red watch on. But my question is, like, but why is yours green and mine not green? I want a green USMC one.
Dude, sorry, bro. I mean, you can't have this one because you can rock it if you want. You can try and be like me.
Ain't ready to be Marines yet. It's the only thing I know all day, baby.
All right,
but I just wanted to know. I mean, like, am I not about to be urban enough to?
Nah.
I can't wear a green one.
Nah, man.
That's not gonna go with your blue camis if you ever get back into them.
Blue camis. I ain't in the military no more. These are my blue camis.
I'm just saying. I can see you out there in it. I get it. But I also know how you army bubbas are. You guys have tons of gear. You guys have. Well,
that's the thing. You probably just didn't have the budget to get a nice enough watch as I did.
We didn't have budget for anything. You guys didn't use. They gave to us. Oh, you want this old? We just got a new 50 cal. You want this old Mark II? Oh, I guess so. I guess yeah. We'll take that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. I just want to know. Like, are you gonna wear 2 watches?
I might.
Because that's an army thing to do. You
have 2 watches.
Have 14 watches on 19 times.
Since when?
Every time you go to any combat zone, you see all army bubbas just have so much gear. But we can't afford it as Marines. So they can give us all of it. But you also question, like, I remember, all right, so I was in HIT, Iraq, right?
Yeah.
2006, 2007. And I'm talking to this army bub, and I think he was the baseball field rank. What's that? The one that looks like a baseball field?
Oh, yeah, specialist.
Specialist, there we go, specialist. And because specialists, there's a difference between NCO and specialist, right?
Yeah, they're not.
And NCO is like a leader, and specialist is just really good at their job.
Just E4. No, I wouldn't say that they're really good at their job because E4 is a rank that when you get there, it's either like, okay, like you're like a senior private, you know what I mean? Or it's like, okay, I'm about to be an NCO, or you're just like a dude like, man, no one can tell me shit.
Okay, so baseball field dude, I'm talking to him. Yeah. He has just gear on gear. I mean, he has 203 rounds all over his chest. I remember asking him, what if someone shot you in the chest? I was like, what would happen? And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it would explode and you would die. Why do you have that all in your chest? You don't have like a dump bucket, you don't have a belt, just a couple. You need 15 on your chest to be ready at all times. But that's cool.
Do people do stupid shit?
Marines do stupid shit too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you guys. There's just more of you. There's so many more people in the Army than the Marine Corps. I mean, a million plus. Yeah. The Marine Corps is like 160,000.
It's a lot more people to be wearing Rockwell Army watches too.
It is a lot more. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe that's why they maybe
that's maybe why they did it.
Maybe that's why they gave us a black one. I mean, it's still sick though. Maybe they just know we do more covert shit.
Oh, is that? Is that?
Maybe we're more better secret squirrels than you guys. We're not. We understand OPSEC. You guys are wearing green watches and gold teeth.
What is going on, guys? This is the inaugural Warning Order podcast.
What is up? Welcome back. This is the Warning Order Show with the Cultured Savage and myself, Muscletron, aka Jeremy and Brian. What's up, brother?
And you see it, fucking lovely in the studio, my boy. A little bit gloomy outside, got some bad weather, but how was your week?
A little bit, dude. My week was good, man. Productive, man. Did a lot of shit that I didn't want to, but I made myself do it, and I feel better about it.
But that's the thing, though, right? All of life, most things we do, we don't want to do.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want to pick up my dog's crap, but I got to. I'm not going to be that guy in the neighborhood. Man, my week was good. I got back from Disneyland, as you know. Had a fun trip out to California. Pops got to come out, kind of just get back in the swing of things, you know.
Roger that, man. Well, we're going to be talking about the state of America today, man.
Oof.
What do you think about that one? That's a good topic.
The state of America.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So just think about that for a second. Let that soak in. The state of America. How many people are divided in this beautiful country we have? I mean, how do you feel about division? Divide and conquer, right? They have a plan.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a bad thing to have people divided. It's not. This is America, right? We're protected by constitutional freedoms, right? It's our right to be divided, right? And being divided means that, we all have our own opinions. And I think, just people need to be tolerant. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. We're gonna caveat off that a lot, but that's kind of like where we're going, you know.
Well, let's just jump into it. All
let's
right,
do it. Let's
jump into it. So, listen, I was listening to my boy Joe Rogan this morning. He was talking about like a respect thing, and we also talked about it with Taylor at Rockwell the other day. Yeah. It's the thing, like we all have different opinions. We all have a different view on things, a vision.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I believe in something and you don't believe in the same thing, but you respect it, that's all that should matter, right? It should be a respect thing at the end of the day. But we have so much going on in this society that we live in, it's almost like an ignorance thing. And I'm not the smartest dude in the world, but I'm not going to listen to social media and be like, you know what? That's what it is. That's a fact, Jack. Like, that's what it is. George Washington was the 14th president. That made sense. Yep. I was there for that. That was cool. So it's like, I think the main thing that we have to remember as a society and a country is like, like, hell yeah, we're the best country. And if you don't believe it and you live in this country, you don't think we are the greatest country in this land, this world, then I think you need to really check yourself because of anyone that's traveled, especially being to a third world country, man, you'll realize our country is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else where we can have parades, we can have, riots, we can have all the same thing in the same time. But at the end of the day, you're still free to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, but why do you have those freedoms? That's the big thing. Why are we free?
Dude, we're free for a lot of reasons, man. We have these freedoms because mistakes were made in the past and we learned from them. And people decided that, hey, we're gonna take certain actions to make sure that these mistakes don't happen anymore. We're a country that's going to be founded on, certain principles, and we're just going to make sure that we further those principles. And I think, man, I know what you're getting at with this. We're free because of the people who protect our freedoms.
Yeah, but we don't have to go into that yet. We can still stay where you're at.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can stay where you're at. There's these things called morals and being ethically correct, right? That's where we started, you know? And I think people forget. We were the terrorists in the beginning. Remember that? You remember that? Remember how this country started? It was a great thing, right? And then we had the Revolutionary War. And then we had a Civil War. But then that was the last time we fought in our country, right? But we still fight every single day with each other. Like, oh, you know what? You don't like this? Well, man, fuck you. Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But at the end of the day, we're still going to be neighbors. We're still going to hang out. I'm still going to see you at the local grocery store. So how do we push past that point of being where there's so much hatred towards one another? Like, how do we get past a point of where it doesn't matter?
You said it right there, man, with one another. All right. So you and I being armed forces veterans, right? One of the biggest things that we learned is it's an emphasized team accomplishment, right? Like that's how you want to get things done. It's not like, hey, I do this by myself. This is, my individual effort. No, man, it's about what you can do as a team. And being a civilian, being out here, like there's a perceived individual accomplishment effort. People are rewarded on what they can do individually, and they're pitted against each other, right? And it's business out here, man. And so really, it's just, here we are, we're on a military page, we're talking about military stuff. And the biggest thing that I want to touch on here, man, is give insight into what it is about the military that makes it such an efficient entity, right? And how can all that stuff, all those tools, those skills, all those things that are taught to us, man, how can we apply them out here? Because there's a whole lot going on out here, man, that, personally, I know there's a lot of stuff that you and I are like, hey, man, like, we know how to do this stuff. Why don't you know how to do this stuff? This is logic. You know what I mean? And it's just, you know where I'm getting at, man. You know exactly. You got something to say. It's
I have so much stuff to say. First of all, I want to say he's going to say a lot of, he wants to touch on things and stuff like that because, he was in the Army and that's what they do in the Army. They touch on things.
We touch on things.
They touch on things.
We reach out and touch things, man.
I don't know about always reaching out. You ever seen an Army Bubba try to shoot past 500 yards with an M4A4?
Well, I'm just saying we don't measure things in the military by yards, but we do them by meters.
Ooh,
so.
but we do yards.
But you're a Marine, so I'll get
in the
that.
Marine Corps.
It's
the
okay.
range you do yards. No big deal. We didn't have a special range where you guys had the target come to you. Hey, I got this electronic. Hey, come here. No, we walked the pits and you did the pits. You're pulling targets. But anyways, no. But going back to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That is where it's at. As an individual, we make decisions on a daily basis that are going to affect other people, whether you know it or not. No. The way that you treat someone, it doesn't matter if you go into the gas station and you're getting gas, or if you go to the local fast food place and you get a burger. It's the way you come off to other people and the way you treat people, especially when people find out or realize that you're a veteran, or when people realize that you're in politics, or people realize that you're an athlete, whatever it is. The way you come off towards people is going to be the way that people perceive that entire that entire professional market. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, man.
And
like you're a representative. Like if I were to see you in uniform, right, you got like a U.S. Marine name tape, you are now a representative of the U.S. Marines. How you act is going to be representative of, of the Marines, right?
Exactly.
Same thing for me, Army, right? But yeah, dude, like it just kind of seems like out here, people just kind of lose themselves because they're pitting themselves up against each other. And when I look at just whether they're active duty, just armed forces service members in general, veterans, whatever, if you served, there's like an expectation, right? And especially just because like you and I know we've been there, right? The expectation is that you know how to conduct yourself professionally, right? Because we've all been there, right? It's one of the first things you learn how to do in the military is you know, discipline, integrity, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage, all that stuff, man. And you're taught how to conduct yourself and adapt in all types of austere environments, right? And so you're basically like, it all equates to you being uncomfortable, right? And you're around like every possible, like it's a melting pot. You're around every possible swinging dick that it's out there.
It's a melting pot though, right? What you said. But you know what the main thing is people forget? There's enough fucking pie on the table for us all to eat.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're all trying to, you're trying to beat the shit out of each other, trying to drag each other down and get to a point. And I think that's a huge issue with society because I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah. Man, if you saw me, right, and I was playing for the Jazz, which I couldn't, I'm a 5'10" white dude. but at the end of the day, if you saw me and I was in a Jazz uniform and that's me, you think I'm a Jazz player, right? But my opinion and how I am, and I'm going to try and crawl and drag and beat or whatever. And if I'm talking bad about other people, all this stuff, you're exactly right. That's how people are going to perceive everyone that plays for the Jazz. That's how everyone's going to perceive everyone that is like, oh, Brian was in the Army. Brian, they're going to think. So now you have people that don't know a lot of military people, right? You're around, you're in a small town or, Ogden's different because Ogden, there's military bases all around, right?
Yep.
But let's just say we're in Oklahoma somewhere and, we're in southern Oklahoma and I'm the only Marine around. Well, if I'm a dick to everyone or if I walk around like I'm better than people are going to think automatically, man, everyone that's in the Marine Corps, they think they're better than people. Yeah. Or if I come off and I'm super professional, I kind of set the bar very high for other veterans that are coming out there and they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, we expect this veteran to be like this. So I think that's what we got as an issue right now in the state of America is the fact that we got to quit looking at other people that are like, oh, yeah, like I'm, let's just say you're a left or a right wing person, right? Just because that's who they vote for doesn't mean that they're that person. That's their opinion. They agree with some opinions of a person. It's like with anything. It's like I like certain people. Like I love LeBron James on the court. Like I love him. But I'm out there screaming his name. I'm at Lakers Jazz. Woo! I'm in there getting it. But at the end of the day, I don't agree with how he is. I don't agree or disagree. Yeah. I'm not going to follow his lead as a father or with politics because as an individual, I should educate myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
It's your duty to educate yourself, man.
And if you don't, he said duty, but if you don't, at the end of the day, you're going to make yourself look like another part of the herd. Yeah. Because we have herd mentality, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't know. I'll let you kick a little bit on it, but man, it's like I could go all day with how we have this herd mentality and how people simply just instead of doing it's like you had a story a while back about doing the hard right
over an
instead
easy wrong.
Of easy wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier to get on social media or to get on something and get educated via that or to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah. Like you're my boy, right? And let's just say that you jumped on the bandwagon of some politician. Well, I'm going to jump right on the back of you. Like, this is my dog. I'm going to follow him to the death for this because I'm loyal, ride or die. He's Martin Lawrence, I'm Will Smith or vice versa, whatever. But you get to the end of it and it's like, wait, the guy we voted, I was with you and I voted this individual in or I wanted to see this individual succeed. At the end of the day, I don't actually agree with his policies.
Yeah, dude, there's no individual walking this earth that I just blindly being like, I support everything he or she thinks, says, does, all that stuff. It doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Ever since I walked this earth with my own 2 feet, man, I've been figuring things out for my damn self. You know what I mean? And you just kind of go out and you figure out the world, man. And that's where the military helped me. You know what I mean? I grew up small ass town, upstate New York, man, in the middle of the woods. Joining the military was one of the most like eye-opening experiences for me because one, it just thrusts you into the fire. You know what I mean? You got to figure shit out real fast. Yep. You know what I mean? You got to figure it out around people you don't know. And you now have a collective struggle that you all have to get through together. Right. And there's no better.
The collective struggle though, right? So I'm not trying to interrupt you, but
No, you're
collective
good.
struggle, that's where people don't realize. We all struggle at different things through our life.
Yeah.
Like we all have different demons. We have different issues.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
guess what? We all came from a different spot. I grew up in the city. I got raised by my mom and my grandma with my sister. You know, other people might have been raised by only men. Other people were raised in the woods. You know, this dude was the lone wolf out here. Like, you know, it's just that's the thing
Lone wolf.
that's the thing about that we seem to forget. Oh, excuse me. That's the PBR at 10:30 in the morning. But that's what we forget. It's a collective struggle that we all must be able to set aside our differences and come together. And that's what made this country great.
Dude, absolutely. And here's the thing, man. Like, you know, a lot of people might hear us talking about like, oh, military this, military that's. Like, listen, you don't have to go join the military to go through struggle, right? You can earn the same education in the military, essentially, like on the streets.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to have street smarts. You got to know how to conduct yourself. It's just a person. You know what I mean? And we're on here talking about stuff that happens in the military that sets you up so much better than other avenues that you can, take to really just kind of set you up for life. Like, hey, what's the best, life education you can get out there? And to me, in my opinion, it's the military, because it puts you through hell. It makes you face your fears. It puts you in positions where you're uncomfortable and you constantly have to get through it. And it's not because it's like something that you have to do. It's something that you want to do now.
Yep.
Right. And
you volunteered to be at that position.
Absolutely. And it's like, listen, fitness is huge now, right? Everyone can kind of relate to like, oh man, I have a nutritionist or I have a personal trainer or whatever. Like, listen, it's the same thing.
Everyone's a fitness guru.
But that's the thing. Like people hire other individuals to, stay on top of them, keep them in shape. Dude, that's the military, right? You constantly have someone telling you where you got to be at what time, what uniform, so on and so forth, and that kind of stuff, it's good and bad. It sets you up for a lot of stuff where you're like, okay, I can focus on the important stuff because then they got this, you know what I mean? And as you grow as like just a warrior in general, like you just start to gain more responsibility and you know how to conduct yourself. And right. And what that does is it equates to you just being a well-rounded individual. And when you want to get back out military, maybe you just want to be, I'm done with this. I'm going to be a civilian, right? That individual has more tools available to him or her getting out than 90% of the civilian population.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just facts.
Yeah, and it's and the reason we're coming at it from this angle also is because that's our experience. That's what we spent. I spent I spent 80% of my adult life in the military or carrying a weapon for my job, my profession, Department of State, whatever it is. And so that's what it is. But talking about being uncomfortable, man, I remember stepping foot on the yellow footprints that you get picked up at MCRD. I'm going to MCRD San Diego, right? We're getting yelled at. We're driving in the yellow school bus around the airport because it's right next to the airport. Yeah. And then talking about being uncomfortable, I've never been around a bunch of naked dudes, right? You're doing a piss.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You live around naked dudes.
That might have been my younger days. But so you get to a point, though, where you're doing a urinalysis test and you're all standing in front of your racks. There's 100 recruits and you just got your skivvies to your knees and you got your dick out. And it's like, I'm going to piss into this bucket and I'm just going to continue with it. And that's it. And it's like, that's talking about being uncomfortable right away. I mean, you have no idea. And you join the military not with a set age group. You remember, especially when the war was kicking off, everyone, they extended the age limit for the Army, Marine Corps, the Navy. I mean, Coast Guard.
It was like 18 to 35 years of age, I think.
Man, I think at one point to get in the Marine Corps, like 37 was the cutoff, and in the Army it was 40.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, it was crazy. But so you're in there with guys that have different experiences. I mean, it just goes to show you that it is the melting pot of our society. Yeah, and that's our experience. Yeah. So that's where we're moving forward with.
Yeah. All right, so moving forward, speaking of that, man, we're going to cover some current events, all right? Pretty much everyone in the world right now basically knows what happened with Iran, over the past, 2 weeks, right? And
let me
Yeah, why don't you dive into that, brother?
Right. Listen, I'm going to get back to Joe Rogan, right? And listen, Joe Rogan, we could probably be best friends if you hear this. Let me know. We could drive our cruisers up to the mountains and smoke a doob. But I don't remember who your guest was, and I apologize. But you were talking about Stephen A. Smith talking about MMA and UFC, and talking about how it's not his place to speak about it. And then Stephen A. Smith put out a video. And Stephen A. Smith, man, he is an analytical guy. He's very intelligent, and he can sway a crowd. So, I mean, I understand why he's on ESPN, and he's educated about sports. Yeah. But he was saying that Cowboy Cerrone had quit. And Cowboy Cerrone had a cracked orbital socket, and McGregor got on top of him. And they made good points how... and then Stephen A. Smith put out that sweet video of him, doing some sparring or something, which looked like my 7-year-old. And but at the end of the day, they said you shouldn't be speaking about this sport because it's not like other sports. you can, it doesn't happen a ton, but people die in MMA, boxing. They really are putting their life on the line. I mean, a boxer lost his life like 2 weeks ago and he was 26 after a fight. He died 2 days from brain injury.
Yeah.
So it's like all these people with the state of Iran, right? I look at it like this. I don't care if you're left, right, whatever you vote with. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to go and be a keyboard warrior, or you're going to get on and use your platform as a celebrity and say, I'm sorry to Iran, I want you to take a step back and think about something. Have you ever been somewhere where there's a 21 gun salute? Have you ever seen someone fold an American flag and give it to a loved one that's never going to see that individual breathe air into their lungs on this in this earth again?
Dude, you're about to see us get real passionate, man.
So
that shit pisses me the fuck off, man. Straight up. Like,
dude, think about it. It's crazy.
Dude, it's just, so I read something, I think it was like a week ago. I read something saying that CNN had paid like some $6 billion to be the only media outlet being aired in all the international airports across the United States, right? And you hop on CNN and it's very obviously pro left wing, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of start to see the effect of it. And especially now, right? It seems like there's kind of like a greater awakening kind of happening, right? And it's because people's eyes are getting open to all the bullshit that's been going on. And honestly, it's just because it's, I don't know, like when you breathe so much, energy into something, man, like, obviously people are going to start to listen to it. They're going to be, persuaded by it. But, this kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, right? And you have to educate yourself, right? You can't just, hop on social media,
smoke and mirrors, baby.
Yeah. Read somebody's post and then think that someone's opinion that they posted and take that for fact, right? And so getting more about this whole Iran thing, dude, like, it pisses me off, man. You know what I mean? As 8 years spent, active duty in the Army, man. And I loved my job. Absolutely loved it, man. And it's because I'm, passionate about our country, our freedoms, our citizens, and seeing all that's going on, man. Like, for one, I get pissed off every single time everyone's like, bring our troops home. Why are they at war? Listen, for one, like the people saying that, right? You probably aren't in the armed forces, okay? Like, why are you talking about something you don't know about, okay? And I'm saying it in this sense because it's like, I remember what it was like to deploy, so do you, right? And I loved my job. Like, we trained for so long to be able to go do that. And the second we finally get to deploy, it's like they're just taking the leash off us. Yep. You know what I mean? And we can't wait to go do it, right? So it bothers me when so many people just assume that like all these people that signed up, volunteered to go do this, that all of a sudden we don't want to go do our jobs.
Yeah.
Listen, we're passionate about that job and we do that job because we want to do it. And we know it has a purpose, right? And so this whole Iran thing, man, like it's really upsetting when you have politicians. Politicians are the farthest thing from warfighters, okay? And you've got politicians apologizing to a country like Iran. And that's the thing. I'm going to say this real quick because I mean, everyone across the world is going to be, could be hearing this. So it's not Iran as a country. I'm not going to sum them all up. It's their fucking regime. All right. They're citizens. They're slaughtering them by the thousand for, speaking out against them. Yeah. And then you've still got people in America, in our country being like, oh, that's disgraceful. That's horrible. No, it's not. Yeah. That's what we do to keep ourselves safe. And I'm damn glad that we did.
Yep. And you know what? It's not even about sparing Iran's feelings, anyone else. You know what? We're in the United States of a fucking America, and we're that country because we stand up and we fight.
Roger that.
We're not going to sit down. We're not going to sit down for anybody, and we never have. And that's the way we're going to keep continuing to do business. And so if you're upset that we let all this stuff go, I mean, our president, our commander-in-chief, he came in and said, these things are continuing to happen. Yes. If you pull on the dog's leash long enough, he's going to come back and he's going to bite you.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. And then for everyone to apologize, we're apologizing to a country who fired missiles to try and kill our troops who are over there fighting for Iraq to be a better country. Remember that. We're not at war with Iraq anymore. We're at war with terrorists and trying to help Iraq build their country back up. So I want you to sit back and think about that for a second. People are saying, oh, we're sorry, Iran, people of Iran. The people of Iran are flying American flags. I wonder why that would be. Because we're the greatest fucking country on this planet. And I want to make sure that everyone understands that. The reason that we are here and we're in Freedom Studios is because we have the freedom to say whatever we want. We have the freedom of speech. We have the Constitution. Yeah. We have all these different things that protect us on a daily fucking basis. So I want you to take a second and just Remove yourself from whatever selfish entity that you have. And I want you to think about troops overseas and think about those missiles. They didn't kill anyone, but they left 34 troops that were sent home with brain injuries.
Yeah. TBI, that is a big fucking deal. I mean, you understand that. And they're reporting, they're almost, there's a lot of people almost attacking President Trump for saying that like no Americans were harmed. Listen, TBI, that's not something that happens immediately. It's like a concussion. You know what I mean? Like there's protocols for it.
Yeah, and the other thing though, not trying to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
What do you mean there was no Americans that were hurt? Oh, so we're gonna wait until you obliterate or you destroy one of our bases over there, or until you kill a bunch of Americans, and then we're gonna stand up and be like, you know what? We should do something. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So if you're gonna get into a fist fight, right? I'm at a bar. I'm at a local bar. I'm a tattooed individual. I got the whiskey flowing in my blood. And you know what? My balls of fury are coming out. I got some dudes talking shit. I'm going to go to the parking lot. I'm going to wait until they connect with my face and maybe knock me out a little bit before I can maybe gather my bearings and get back at it. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? Is that what we're teaching our kids as a society? We're going to wait until someone hits us in the mouth before we punch back?
Not my kids.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, my 7-year-old, all right? I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. My Amari, she is one of the weirdest girls in the world, and I love her to death. She'll lick a toy at Target just because she thought it smelled fun. But at the end of the day, that's my road dog right there, right? Mm-hmm. So she's at school and there's a little boy that's messing with her daily, elbowing her, hitting her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to his dad. If he keeps hitting you, I want you to shove him away. But the thing you don't know about my 7-year-old is she's got a mean, nasty hook. And you know that. Oh, yeah. I mean, she can punch. Yeah. Like crazy. I mean, when Bria was pregnant, Bria put her hands up for Amari to punch her in the hand, and she totally hit Bria right in the breast. And Bria went to her knees crying and laughing because it hurt, but it was hilarious. So it's like that. So I'm going to let you guys know, if you teach your kids to be soft and take it, that's what they're going to do their entire life. Yeah. But my daughter, she hooked this kid in the face, and that kid hasn't messed with her since. Because at some point, if you keep going and you keep going, someone's going to bite. Yeah. And that's what life's about. It really is. And if you want to really protect our freedoms, you can't let people stand and stample and trample all over our shit. Stample's not even a word. You can't let them trample all over our flag and all over us as a country, because we're a prideful country, and that's what we forget all the time. Man, I'm sorry. I'll get off this rant.
Oh, dude, you're good, man.
It just pisses me off, man. It pisses me the fuck off that everyone is so entitled nowadays. Yeah. And yeah, you're entitled to your own opinion, but your opinion shouldn't sway everyone else's. And if we don't agree with your opinion, but we respect you, that's all that should matter. You know what I'm saying? Equality doesn't mean that we all have the same opinion. Equality means that we all agree upon respecting each other's own way they want to live their lives. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we get that twisted all the time. I mean, we see it every single day. People walk around, and if you have just the inkling of not agreeing with something that they see, they'll have an issue with you or a problem with you.
Yeah, man, listen, we got to push tolerance. Tolerance is like the number one thing that we got to do now. And because it's ridiculous. Like, educate yourselves. Do research, right? The more you educate yourself, just read a book. You know what I mean? Like, get off the internet, get off social media, stop reading people's opinions that are just bullshit, and educate yourself, right? Listen, you and I both wouldn't be where we are with, right here today, spitting a podcast, all that. Listen, I grew up dirt poor. Dirt motherfucking poor, man. Like, I remember I had these big old ugly ass glasses, and I was like 5th or 6th grade wearing like shitty shoes with like Ames fucking pants or whatever, man. I didn't give a fuck, but I had no identity. I didn't know who I was, right? And I had some little fucking shithead kids making fun of me, and, I didn't go cry to my mom and dad. I didn't go whatever, like you fucking suck it up and deal with it, man, because that's just the difference. Like you're talking about entitlement, like, people's opinions now are just like, oh, hey, well, you don't have to go through struggle. We'll just make things easier for you. Yep. Right. And that's the wrong answer. Because if you and I both didn't go through the struggles that we went through, right? And I know that there's millions of people who can relate to everything we're saying, right?
Had it worse than us, better than us, all this
Absolutely.
Stuff, but I know they still agree. I understand
those things that we had to overcome, right? To understand who we were, who we are, build ourselves up as human beings to be confident in ourselves. Like we are now, it allows us to have the voice that we have now. It allows us to be able to put this message out to people because we believe in it, because we built ourselves up into individuals, right? With the help of life, with the help of the military, with the help of being, just
stubborn, hard-headed mules.
Everything, man. Making so many mistakes, dude. That's what it's about.
Failure. You have to grow from failure, bro.
Yes, dude. I get so many people, man. Like, one of my buddies, he's getting out of the military or whatever, and so on and so forth. It's a couple years later now, and I meet up with him, like a couple weeks ago, some shit, and he just didn't look like he was in a good place at all, man. And he just kind of muttered something, and he was like, well, failure is certain death. And I stopped him dead in his tracks, man. And I'm just like, kind of looking at him like, dude, we're not in the battlefield anymore. We're not. You know what I mean? Like
failure on the battlefield.
Like you're wearing your grunt style shirt and your fucking Merrill shoes and all that stuff, acting like you're some kind of fucking operator dude talking about the good old days. But dude, you're telling me that failure is certain death? No, the fuck it's not. You know what I mean? Sack up.
Yep.
Pull yourself together, right? And understand that failure is an opportunity for growth. And so what I want to get at is essentially people need to fail more. People need to understand it's okay to fail more.
But we got to stop holding people's hands, because I agree completely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, completely. You got to stop holding everyone's hands and not letting them fail. You have to let someone fall in order for them to understand what it takes to get back up.
No.
Man, I know you have been in the same spot. We talked about it a little bit last week. When you're at that point where you got those demons and all you've eaten in the last 3 days is some whiskey and some corn nuts off a bar table, I mean, that is like your failure. You're looking at it in the mirror. Man, I've been divorced. I've got multiple babies, mothers. Like, it's failure. But guess what? I'm at where I am now today because I had to get up. And I had to realize, like, oh, shit, this isn't going to work for my life. I want everyone listening, if you get a chance, look up Growth Edge. It's 1% harder in every aspect of life, and it'll go a long way, because we talk about personal growth and all this shit, but that is what it is. You have to find an avenue, because guess what? No book is going to pick you up from where you were. You can read a book and it can give you some assistance and it can help you. You can educate yourself on some things, but you have to get the intestinal fortitude, or you have to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not going to continue this fucking basic ass life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a huge thing, I remember exactly what you're talking about, man. Andy Richardson, if you're listening to this, you're the first kid I beat up, you came at me when I was in 4th grade. I was in a new neighborhood and we were poor, I had to give you the onesie and two, and but I grew from that. And when I did that, I realized like, okay, he knocked me down. I got back up and I whooped his ass. But at the end of the day, I felt more confident in myself because I got up.
Yeah.
So the ass whoopings that I've taken over the years, because I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a fighter you are. You've had your ass whooped. And that's just, and if you haven't, you haven't fought enough. Go out there and find out what you're made of.
I agree.
And because, man, I've had my ass whooped. I've failed. I am a failure every single day.
Yeah.
But the good news is, I'm one of those dumbass, stubborn failures that looks in the mirror, smiles a little bit, maybe wipes the blood off my face, and then I get back to doing what I'm doing because I'm still alive, man. I mean, how many people do we know that aren't still here?
Yeah.
From veterans that have taken their lives, to individuals we lost in combat, to people that have died in natural disasters, car accidents, cancer. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. But failure is your biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah. And it's just because you got to be vulnerable to do that, man.
Man, but I mean, we could talk about vulnerability all day, right? But it's like, that's the thing. No one wants to be able to let anyone else see them at a low point because you can't get everywhere on your own. And being vulnerable, it's such a shitty feeling. You look and you're like, oh man. And I remember, not to bring up too much negativity, but I remember when you were going through it, months ago, and it's like that was the last thing you wanted to do, was be vulnerable to the world.
Yeah.
But me being your boy, I knew what needed to happen. And so that's what we talked about. We were both vulnerable with each other. I made sure to let you know about all my failures.
Yeah,
man. I fail daily. And that's the thing. I fucking love it. And you should too.
Yeah.
Because it's a new challenge every single day when you fail at something. And man, bro, we are failures, but we're failing up. And that's what everyone should be trying to do.
Yeah.
You know
honestly, people need to fall in love with something, man.
Fall in love with themselves.
That's it. Just fucking something.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, people they follow what's, you know what I mean? Like, and dude, everyone does it. I've done it. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing I want to, the biggest thing I want to convey here is like, listen, you and I, we're just dudes. You know what I mean? There's nothing really that sets us apart too much from a ton of other people than the traits that we know about. But us up here spitting all this stuff, it's not because we think we're better than anybody else. That's not we're pieces of shit. You know what I mean? We've
stinky pieces of shit.
But the thing is like we've got to evolve certain topics. And dude, if no one else is going to do it, then you and I are going to fucking step up to the plate and we're going to go evolve the topic. We're going to let people know that like, hey, there's certain things that need to happen in this country. And listen, it's okay to be your fucking self.
Yep. Hey, man, this is what kills me. Everyone wants to be someone else. This is something my wife tells my daughter all the time. No one else can be you because you're already taken. Yeah. And you can't be the person next to you. I can't be Brian. Brian can't be me. We can't be each other. But guess what? You can help get some attributes from that person that you enjoy or that you want to grow from yourself. But that's the thing. You have to be yourself and you have to look in the mirror and fall in love with who you are. Yeah. And that's this is from two guys, like he just said, that have failed multiple times. We have a little bit of experience between the two of us. We've got almost 20 years in the military. Yeah. And I mean, almost a dozen rotations to the Middle East. But at the end of the day, we're here just to voice what you guys are going to help us help you with. Yeah,
we're going to be doing a ton with this podcast, and it's pumped. Like, we ain't just going to be in here talking amongst ourselves about, like, the things that we think should be fucking different. But we are going to be in here talking about a lot of the stuff that no one else is.
Or that no one else is going to give you their true opinion on because they're so afraid of someone being like, I don't like you. Well, guess what? Fuck the fuck off. Like, I don't give a shit. Excuse my language, but man, if you don't like me, it's cool. Now, if I did something wrong, exactly. Now, if I did something to wrong you, okay, I get it. That's my bad. And, I apologize to everyone else out there. This is my last apology to you from the past because I've already done it. So get over it. Forgive me or fuck off. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's about stop caring about anyone else that doesn't truly matter in your life, And that's what I want to, if we can get anything across on this podcast, it's the fact that we can help our veteran and active duty military brothers and sisters out. We can help out anyone else that needs it, but we can also help you decide for yourself to move forward and evolve. Yeah. Exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, this is the start of a greater conversation that it's going to be ongoing. You know what I mean? And we're just starting it. It's a very small snowball right now. And by the time it's done, it's going to be a massive boulder and we're going to start an avalanche.
It's going to have some crazy shit in it. We're going to have...
That's it.
I mean, but our podcast is going to be vlogs. We're going to be at locations doing crazy stuff. We're going to be doing just fun, good time stuff. We're going to have... Yeah. We're going to bring people on here that have more experience than us.
Way
more experience. And I want to get the perspective of, females in the military or veterans.
Very much so.
What a big thing I want to get? I want to get veterans that are married to veterans or military married to military. And I want to get their understanding of it and not just, and because you know what? I'm going to honestly tell you, like, I love the men and women who support the men and women that are fighting for their country.
Yeah, right.
You dependoponimuses out there. you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. You can look in the mirror and decide today's your day of failure and you're going to go ahead and move on from that. But really, we're going to get perspective from a bunch of different people. And we want to know more of what you guys want to talk about. Yeah. Things you guys are struggling with. Because guess what? We've probably struggled with the same thing. No. We've had addiction. We've had adultery, addiction. I mean, we can go on and on. We're assholes, like all the different things. But we're going to give you who we truly are every day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the whole point of this, man, we're going to be getting through a lot of like leadership talk, motivation. But the whole point of this is we're going to be humans. We're going to have human moments out here, right? And we're going to be vulnerable, right? All so people can kind of just have a greater look from the outside in to what is it that makes these dudes tick? What is it that they're talking about? Why are they so passionate about this stuff? And it's just, dude, it's opening a conversation. It's helping people. Yep. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the military lingo that we know of and this talk and this stuff, just the processes that are just ingrained in our heads from all these processes that we honed over time, we hold on to those and we keep those for a reason because we know that they're efficient, they're effective, they work, And so really it's all about just kind of getting this knowledge out for everyone else to be like, huh, you know what I mean? We aren't telling you guys, hey, this is how it is. We're trying to basically just let
Open
you kind of ponder
minds.
Things like, oh, okay. Like that's what it is, right? Like we're going to push tolerance and we're going to push education here, right? Because you need to educate yourself in order to be able to make informed decisions on your life. Period. That's it. And you have to be tolerant of other people because you can be as educated as you want, but at that point, if you aren't tolerant of others' opinions, then you're just going to be an educated douche trying to push your agenda on everyone else, right? So you have to be tolerant, right? Half the reason we've gone to war in just the history of the United States is primarily over religion.
Yeah.
Why is it that we can't be tolerable of people with different beliefs within our own country?
You know, there's a greater word that I think we can almost close our podcast with today.
Let's do it.
You know, it was a song about it. I think it was RESPECT. Oh, yeah. It's called respect. You have to gain respect and be respectful towards other people's opinions, even if you don't agree with it, in order to move forward. So like my man Brian said, we're here to help open your minds and to help you realize that your opinion and your voice does matter. I mean, every single day.
No.
I mean, anything else you want to let the people know about before we jump off this one today?
No, dude, that was burly, man. We covered a lot, and I like it, though.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you being here with me.
You,
I appreciate our guy Todd over here running the 1s and 2s. And thank you for tuning into the Warning Order, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah. Later, y'all. Sweet tobacco, sandalwood, that's just straight manly.
So wait, cavalry, it's like an army thing, right? You guys are riding horses? That's like a cavalry thing, right? You know? I grew up in Colorado Springs, so there's 4 military bases right there, all army, and like an Air Force.
So good. What's that? Almost smells like a candle, kind of.
I think this is a candle.
I don't know. It doesn't have a wick in it. Stop eating my pomade, Jeremy.
Man, just rub it in.
Oh my God.
Right? It's like when your mom, you had something on your face with food, and your mom would lick it and just rub it. It's the same thing.
Listen, every single time you order something from Lux Hair Wax, you're going to get a cool sticker, right? Their graphics are dope. So these tins, every single one of these graphics, they always come with something super badass. So you're going to get a sticker, comb. All right, that one. You can take it out of plastic.
I can take this out of the plastic, but I can't use it because what if I brush my mustache? Hey, you got your mustache is super clean. Hold on. All right, is that better?
You can brush my beard while I read this.
I'm just thinking stuff.
So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool because they with each, you order something from Lux Hair Wax, you get like this little carton, right? And they got a cool little saying called "Stay Sharp, Stay Savage." It says Lux Hair Wax Company has been inspiring the sharp savage for years. We're pioneers. We're patriots. We are Locksmen, the John Wicks, members of Kingsmen, Peaky Blinders, James Bonds, and the Untouchables. Everywhere can rely on us to keep them sharp and savage.
Only thing they forgot was the Inglorious Bastards.
Lux Hair Wax products, baby.
I dig it.
Yeah, go get you some.
All about a car.
Yeah.